let's start with this picture here. It's from me. I took it at the National Museum of China in Beijing. And it's a picture of some of the minorities that live in China. Many people here in the West always think that Chinese people all look the same and all are the same, but this is actually not true. Of course, there is this ethnicity called Han ethnicity, which I think over 95% of Chinese people consider them to be from that ethnicity. But basically, this is also just a mix of many, many different cultures and people and ethnicities that basically were mixed up in China through thousands of years. But there are still some minorities who are, who distinctively want to be something else, or want to be, or cherish their specific culture. And on this picture, you can see a few of them. There's like Koreans and Mongols and Turkish people, and of course people from Tibet and people from southern China, near the border of Vietnam or so. Yeah, because China is so large and has so many borders. There's even some people who look Russian, who are originally from Russia, but who live on Chinese soil. So yes, it's like a mix of all the different people. And it's not that those people, that those minorities would be suppressed. I would say it's more like that. Of course, the Chinese government wants to modernize the whole country and the whole population, and so sometimes there are some frictions within the people who want to keep the tradition and those who want to move on to the future. So yeah, this is just my take. Anyway, let's just continue to the next picture. And this is that one. I think this is one from Shane, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yes, Shane.
So this is Harbin. It's the Snow and Ice Festival from Harbin.
Mm-hmm. So Harbin is a city in the north of China.
Temperature
right?
is very low, up to 48 degrees Celsius. Yeah, right north on the top of China. And
48
it's up to minus 48 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And everything you see in this picture, except humans, of course, is ice and snow. Not snow, actually, ice, frozen ice. And the fun fact is that when I wanted to get a beer, I got an ice mug, and it was literally made of ice. It was nothing else was inside. It was literally ice, and it was really good time.
And you had to drink it before it was before it would freeze your drink, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Before your drink became your cup, basically. Yes.
Yeah.
Mirami,
but
Mirami,
I will really recommend this place once in a while. If you ever go to China in winter season, I think you will have one of the best experience.
Mirami, you have also been to Harbin, to this ice festival, right?
Yeah, it is amazing because it is this place is a bit outside Harbin, so you have to take taxi or something like that to go there. But even if you go through the streets of Harbin, you see at every corner something made of ice. And even some, So you see something made of ice for Harbin beer, for example, or for whatever kind of shop. They're making some ads for the shops by making ice statue in the front of the shop.
So if you are an ice
But
sculptor,
the point,
then Harbin. Yes.
yeah, and for me personally, it was too cold. So when I go through the streets, maybe I can go maximum for 10-15 minutes, then I have to look for a place where I can get a coffee or tea and sit down and melt again and then go out again for 10-15 minutes and then look for another place to have coffee or tea. It was too cold.
Did you have special clothes or?
I would like to mention here a fun fact. It's the Harbin is the city where I have some friends studying there, and they told me that if the average person like us needs 1,000 calories in normal weather, even in Switzerland or in winter, or 1,500 calories a day, in Harbin for the same person, you need at least 5,000 calories to consume. And that's the reason he couldn't walk more than 15 minutes and he was getting tired or something. Even if it will be me or you, we will not be able to.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with age or anything. It's about the temperature, and we need that many calories to survive. So if you love eating food and you don't want to be fat, just go to Harbin because you will consume all those calories.
Good idea.
Exactly, yeah.
So this is the next picture, and actually that's from you, Mirami, right? This is the Shanghai Tower.
Yeah,
right?
That is the Shanghai Tower, yeah. And we have seen the picture from the top. So that is from the bottom, 630 meter high, I think. And the amazing thing, if you take the elevator, it takes 1 minute to the top. It is around 1 meter per second.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are on the top of the world, you could say.
But it is
right?
not. Yeah, exactly. But it is not for free. It is 120 yuan.
Wow.
You have to pay for the ticket. Yeah.
Great. So,
but it is worth the money because really it is amazing to have a look from the top.
It's a very special experience.
Yeah.
And because in Shanghai there's always something going on. I mean, yeah, you have a lot of things to watch, right? There's always cars and people and everywhere something.
By the way, when I went to China the first time in 1996, in this area, Pudong, there was nothing except the Pearl Tower. The Pearl Tower was just finished, and everyone was very proud of the tower. And you go up there, and you look down. There was nothing, only fields, rice fields, and whatever. I have still have some photos, but paper photos from that time, and it looks amazing. When I compare these photos with the situation right now.
So from rice fields to skyscrapers, basically, right?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Within 20 years or something like that, yeah.
Not that fast.
Good. These are the white monkeys.
Yes. Here's our logo. This is one white monkey show. A little background.
Which one is you? Which one is supposed to be you?
Well, I was a replacement monkey as the bass player left for a little while, and I filled in the place of him. If some people aren't aware, the white monkey is sort of a slang term referring to a foreigner who is getting a job based on being a foreigner. So you are often they're looking for someone to lend a legitimacy or lend a diversify their staff, so to speak. And so you're in this kind of position, you're a white monkey. And in fact, these guys, this is my friend Rich, who you see on the screen there, and they were told that they looking for some musicians, and they wanted some white guys. And this is, you know, a little absurd, but they took the job anyway, and they decided to take it as a name, in fact, for the band. As a little irony, it's kind of a funny story, and it says a little bit about the culture. And maybe there's some other photos. Unfortunately, the White Monkeys aren't playing right now. We're not touring, but we had a good run. There's an album out. You can catch some of our stuff on Spotify.
Okay.
or QQ Music, or Kugo, some of the Chinese music sites. It's very nice, actually. A lot of people don't know that the Chinese music sites give you basically all the recordings, most of the recordings of the world for free. So, and unfortunately, you can't access them from the United States. They're blocked. Probably from Switzerland too. I don't know. Can you listen to QQ music from Switzerland?
Yeah.
It works. It works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Lucky you.
Just a question: did you play, like, what kind of style of music did you play?
This was more of a rock, really. We have a Scottish gentleman, a British gentleman, and Italian drummer, and played originals. Rich and these guys actually put that stuff together before I arrived, so I just got lucky to arrive and learn the songs and play with them. It's kind of a little bit eclectic, but if you had to pick a genre, it's just rock and roll, definitely.
And the Chinese, from the picture I can see, it's mostly youngsters. I would say even mostly female youngsters.
Possibly in this picture, I don't know. I believe this venue here is a live house called On the Way in Hefei. There's a little, there's a few live houses from this franchise, and they bring in a lot of more hardcore stuff, some metal, some punk. It's nice to hear that there's a music scene. Sometimes it's hard to tell. If you just hear Chinese music, you might hear the pop stuff, and you think that you might think that's all that's going on. But there are some underground music scenes. If you look for them, you'll find them.
But they like the music, right?
Yeah, I think they did. We were a little bit outsiders in the scene here, and for obvious, for reasonable reasons, and but we were starting to get in with the crew, starting to know some of these people. I played with some other people in this. I played with a group of Uyghurs from Xinjiang in this very venue that you see here in this picture, and that was also very interesting. And there's some jam sessions, some open mic nights, and it's not there. There's some nice mixing of genres that occurs there. There's a lot of foreigners, people playing Irish music, and there's always a few locals who want to play with us. So, the Chinese music scene is not, really considered to be as up and coming as, say, New York, but there is a lot of interesting stuff going on. So I think there's a lot of things that we should keep on a year out, see what's going on.
Cool. So then the next picture, that's actually from me. Again, this this is a picture I made at the National Museum of China, and it is a model of all the hydroelectric dams, or at least of some of the hydroelectric dams that they had already built and were going to build in China. I mean, at least on one of the rivers in China. I guess in the background you can see like this this red building or so. That must be Beijing. And then, yes, actually now I remember. This is a model of the south, I think it's called South to North Water Diversion Project. It's basically, China has a problem that there is too much water in the south. I mean, too much rain and so on in the south, and too little in the north. So, for example, in Beijing, you had like some water restrictions in previous years and so on. And this is basically a man-made canal with locks and dams and everything to basically divert the water from, I mean, of course, not all of the water, but some of the water from the south through the whole country to the north. So this is a huge project, which I think you could even compare with the Great Wall of China, which I think they're already building it. I'm not sure. I think they haven't finished it yet.
What province is this, Carli?
It goes through all of China. I think it actually starts probably somewhere where the Three Gorges Dam is.
Okay.
So it would be Sichuan, where your wife is from, right? Where your spouse is from, Lukas. And yeah, then it will go all around, all throughout China, all the way to Beijing, maybe even further, but at least to Beijing. And this is like a project. This is like, I think no other country in the world would do something like this, because the costs are just so massive. I mean, but in China, there's a lot
I
of
would like to mention, you already said earlier that they have turned the river and they have created the canals. I have seen two rivers, and the huge rivers in Liaoyang near Beijing and in Fushun City. And they literally turned it with millions of tons of soil. They put on one side, and they literally turned both rivers. And I have seen it with my own eyes. So yeah, only China can do that. No other country. You are right.
That's could be an ecological catastrophe. I don't want to rain on this parade here, but this.
No, I mean that will be a different topic. But
certainly challenges also in that respect, yes. But of course, you know, the water eventually will not only be used for people consumption, but probably also for watering fields and whatever in the north. So it could maybe also save nature in the north. Who knows? Yeah.
I have been there to the Three Gorges Dam during the building of the dam, because by then I was working with ABB, and ABB was delivering the turbines for the dam. So I wanted that to the place called Yichang on the Yangtze River, yeah. And as I understood, they have in this area and in the south a lot of power plants, water power plants, and in the north, I have seen also in Xinjiang a lot of wind plants. So I have a lot of you can see lines of this
wind power plants,
turbines, wind turbines, yeah, there. And the problem mainly, as I understood, was the grid in China. You have a lot of power plants in the north, wind plants, and you have a lot of water plants in the south. but they are not connected because they're still working on the grid to connect the electricity from the south with the one from the north. And for that, now the Xinjiang wind plants are running on 50% of the capacity because they cannot use the whole capacity of the wind plant. Wow. So they are working now also on the grid to have one connected grid in whole China.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's great. And of course, China is kind of renewable energy in China is just massive, right? It is fully supported by the government, and yeah, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah.
Good. Then to something else that is also a little bit huge, but maybe not that huge. It's from you, Shane.
Yeah, that's the front of the picture you were showing before. That's the North Korean boat. That's North Korean boat. That's the other side of the border. That's all North Korea.
You can see the flag of North Korea actually here.
Yeah. And that's the Dandong city, the border city between North Korea and China. And you have a boat tour, and it's pretty open, no security, nothing. And you can go literally near to the border, and you can see people and houses and all these boats and everything. That's the functioning boat, by the way. That's not the abandoned boat.
Really? Oh, but it doesn't look very good. It is
exactly. And from the boat, you can guess that that's not China, because Chinese rivers, you will not see these kind of boats anymore. Normally, especially for like tourist places and everything. But that's the difference between two countries' economy, I guess.
Okay, so then to the next picture. It's from Mirami, I think.
Yeah, that is back to Xi'an. You have here not only the soldiers, because you have also this kind of horse carriages. That is really by then was considered a huge development, using this kind of carriages pulled by forces in the war. It is like today's tanks.
Yeah.
By then it was considered like today's tanks. Yeah. Because you can carry more weapon on the carriage.
And the Chinese like to have these umbrellas that protect them from the sun, right? So
in the war,
exactly.
A big thing in ancient times. Yes.
It's a very funny thing that you're going to war, but you need to be protected by a sun. Just in a fun way. No comment.
Great. Then, yeah, I guess that's another picture from Lukas. Is that actually you or not? You're not on any of the, you're not one of those.
Am I one of these? No, I think I am. Doesn't look like me there. Maybe as another photo. This is just a poster.
It's just
from one of our shows.
Hi.
You can skip ahead. You know these guys?
But
no.
No, but I see you play from 9:30 p.m. till 3:30 a.m.
Yes, well,
long time.
There's after party. Free to stay open as they like. There's no issue with local customs here in the States. In Boston, you have to close at 1 a.m. by law, and that's very You won't find much like that in China. Of course, it changes from place to place, but you have a lot of late night clubs, a lot of places. You don't really need a liquor license to start selling things. A lot of people don't realize that because there's a reputation of
Yeah, I was working in a few clubs as you can say as a manager or consultant or promoter. My job was to just entertain the foreigners. It's pretty common in China. Maybe Lukas, you know that there's the one guy and he's attending all the foreigners and translating for them and helping them and to get entertained. And we used to be open till like 6, 7. I mean, and it's pretty common in China. I spent almost 2 years in those clubs in Shenyang city. And I was there like for almost, at the end, I had more than 8, 9 clubs where I was going every 2 hours, and they were paying very well over the weekend. And we always go after midnight, especially foreigners always come after midnight. A lot of them were from Munich, Germany, from BMW. And we open till 6 in the morning.
So Lukas, the question is, why did you already close at 3:30 a.m.?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. It must be in a quiet neighborhood, Carli.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe just the official
grandmas join in. Yeah. Okay. So there's the next picture. This picture I took, I mean, sounds boring, but I really like museums. So I went to a lot of museums in China, and this was in a kind of a museum. It was also in Beijing, nearby the Forbidden City, so nearby the Tiananmen Square, which is, I think, this little part here. And actually, the museum was located around here, just at one of the corners of that Tiananmen Square. And basically, this building or museum was to show the development of the city of Beijing. So there you could see models of the whole city. And actually, this museum was free. So that was nice as well. And this was just one of the little models of Beijing. And so here you could see like this large square here is like the Forbidden City. And then here you have some kind of gates to this city. I guess this gate here is the one where you have the picture of Mao Zedong. And then again, here you have the Tiananmen Square. And here, is a lake, but I think this is like the area where the top officials of the government live. This kind of the White House of China. And also what's interesting is that just behind the Forbidden City is a man-made hill, basically. So
man-made hill.
Yeah, at least from what I understood. And I think it's because of feng shui also. So they needed to have something to block the backside. I don't know. Yeah. And then I guess here, this may be the first ring because Beijing is organized in several rings of roads, right? So this may be the first one here, and this the second one, I guess. All right. Anyway, so this picture is what Shane was eating in China when you were there. Right?
That's the famous street food of China. First of all, I would like to mention Chinese people normally don't eat that. It's just a few spots you will find in China just for entertainment and everything, and a reminder of old times when the poor people have nothing, so they have to eat everything. And because it's a COVID season, I don't want people blaming after video that, look, Chinese eat this and that. Chinese eat normal like us. These are just the occasionally things. And you will even find bats here. And that's the picture of like almost 10 years older picture. So people were eating still there, and there were no COVID and everything. So deal with it. Yeah.
I've actually heard that this kind of street stands that sell those insects or so in Beijing, that at least the one in Beijing was actually closed in the meantime.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, was this in Beijing or in which city?
Yeah, it is in Beijing. It was in Beijing if it's closed, yeah. And it's most like people don't even eat that. They are curious. They want to see. Even I was like curious, and I want to take pictures and just try. You know, I tried the snake. It was just crunchy biscuit, so it's like that. It's not like you're going to have a meal or something. It's just for entertainment and a reminder of old times. But it depends on us how we take it. So.
And this is one of my favorite dishes, but I guess one of Mirami's favorite dishes as well, right?
Mine too.
Yeah, exactly.
Spain too. Lukas, maybe.
Xi'an, mutton meat from barbecue, the best you can get. It's really very good.
And of course,
besides the soup, besides the soup we have seen before, so both together is incredible.
And they have a lot of spices on it, and they actually like to have the fat, because the fat gives taste, right? And it's great.
And I wanted to buy these spices, but no way to communicate and find somebody who understands what I want, and not easy.
You should show a picture, maybe. Good. Then this picture looks official. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anything more?
No, it was great time there. Yeah.
Yes, and Xi'an definitely has some very great food.
Muslim street, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a Muslim street.
So again, official picture from Lukas. Is this in your passport? Or?
This one is taken on the island in the South China Sea there. Gemashua. Why am I forgetting the name of that island? Sanya is the city there.
Hainan.
Hainan. Thank you. Yeah.
Hainan.
And the interesting place. We went inland a little bit and to see some of the older style things. A lot of monkeys there. Beautiful beaches. Something a little different you might not associate with China, especially after seeing the pictures from the IceFestival a few slides ago.
Well, that's pretty cool. And actually that symbol behind it is a territory symbol. And it's very common in Hainan Island because there is a US military camp joined with Japan on the coast. And then there is China. And they have put these all symbols, what you can see behind with a stamp. And it's written that it's a Chinese territory. And it's a very controversial, popular touristic place, Hainan Island. Yeah.
But I've also heard that recently Hainan, they want to become like, sounds a little bit, it sounds a little bit.
No, you are right. I understood what you are trying to say. I totally understood. You are right. And that's the reason they are trying to claim and putting these and everything. Especially
no. I actually meant that Hainan wants to become the next Shenzhen, you know. They want to become the next free trade zone, upstart place or so. And I think actually they are trying to bring in a lot of foreigners as well, because it should be kind of like a testing ground for China to have even more foreigners in some places. And so
like like next Hong Kong, the most developed city. Like like Hong Kong was the first city which developed in that region and everything.
Yes, I would say Hong Kong, but since Hong Kong, there's already many other cities. Like, I think after Hong Kong, you could say Shanghai became kind of the next Hong Kong, and after Shanghai, Shenzhen became the next Shanghai, and after Shenzhen, maybe Hainan will become the next Shenzhen. So it's kind of moving very fast there. Yeah.
I mean, that's China. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So this is a picture that I made in the again in a museum. Sorry, in the Museum of Science and Technology in Beijing. It is located nearby the Olympic area. I mean, the Olympic area of the Summer Olympics 2008. And so this was just the hugest LED screen I've ever seen. I don't know whether you can see it, but for example, here, very small is a person who is looking up.
Wow.
And maybe in the meantime they have more larger screens, but if you're sitting at home and you're like a couch potato, then this is the ultimate TV screen you could get. So.
I just have a question. Is it a one piece, like the huge one LCD, or?
No, I think it's many panels. I don't think it's just
many
one
panels.
panel.
It's pretty cool, like a big cinema.
It's like a
huge
tennis court, the size of a tennis court, something like this.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Okay, and then Shane, the next picture from you.
I mean, there is no explanation needed. Everybody can guess. It's a Great Wall of China, but mostly people know from Beijing. This is the one coming from there all the way to Dandong, North Korea. So this is the border. Also, one of the part from one side is North Korea and the other side is China.
In which city was it again? In
Dandong. It's like 8. But there is no fast train, but like a normal train, it's 8 hours from Beijing, 8 to 10 hours from Beijing till that city.
Exactly, just at the border of North Korea.
Yeah, North Korean border, and this is all coming all the way from Beijing, and so that's why I just added. I thought it would be great fun to know that. Oh, I went to. Normally, tourists go to Beijing, and then if they know, okay, this wall is going towards that long, it would be really fun to show.
And of course, these walls, I guess. Yes,
somebody told me that the harbor Dandong is built specially because China is importing a lot of goods from North Korea. It's not really importing. They are investing in North Korea.
They are investing
because of the work investing here. Because the workforce is very cheap, cheaper than in China, of course. So they let produce in North Korea, and then get it to Dandong for export. Just put it on the containers and send it around the world. So it is really connected, very strongly connected to the investment of China and North Korea.
Have you been to North Korea before, Mirami?
No, never. I didn't have the opportunity.
Yes, and of course,
I think it's not easy to go there.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult.
And of course, these walls, I mean, a lot of these walls, they were rebuilt. They are not like 2,000 years old or so.
Exactly, yeah.
And of course, there are some people, I mean, I also personally know some people who think that it's not so good that the Chinese would rebuild things that broke down, you know, because they should keep it in the original, you know, how it originally was. But actually, during the hundreds and thousands of years, things always would break, and they would always rebuild it in a different way, and so on. So I sometimes also understand the Chinese, if they just, you know, they don't want broken stuff, they just want to fix these things up. And we sometimes in the West think we should preserve it, but they think it should be shiny and new and nice. And so this is a little bit the cultural difference, I would say.
Yeah.
And then we have a picture of Mirami.
Here it is.
It's a little. You look a little bit cold.
It is Harbin again, and winter time. And this is, as I said, it is not just the place of the festival outside Harbin. You find this statue everywhere in the city, on the streets. You can walk around, you can make pictures, and then for me, it was, as I said, after 10, 15 minutes, I have to go somewhere and get some tea or something to eat and feel like a human being again before going out for the next 10 minutes. But it was very interesting, really very interesting to go there.
And you could also see that in the city, Harbin, I mean, it used to be under the control of the Russians for a couple of years. And so there's a lot of Russian influence. For example, they have a Russian church, I think, or cathedral in Harbin.
Yeah.
And also here, of course, these ice sculptures, they are the Russian matrushkas, right? The ones, the wooden ones you can open and close.
And even some shops, they have are written in two languages, so in Chinese and Russian. A lot of shops there.
Okay, and then to the last picture for this session. This is from Lukas, I think.
Yes, some giant sculptures, Buddhist sculptures in, I believe this is the Xi'an, a purple mountain in Anhui province. I don't have that much explanation behind this, but there a lot of.
But here's the heritage you were talking about to keep and preserve, and don't make them shiny. So we found something.
Yes.
Yes. In which province was that? Sorry, Lukas.
This is Anhui. Anhui.
Yeah. Okay.
Anhui province, and not that far from Hefei, even a short car ride, and there's also a lot more smaller ones at this site. Some lovely sculptures. It's a beautiful park. We went for some runs there.
Maybe just an interesting fact, what I've recently heard. I don't know whether I can verify it or so, but it's just interesting to hear that. I've heard that originally the area of the Mongols and basically Tibet, they were, Buddhism was introduced by the Chinese into Tibet and to the Mongols, because this was a religion that would make them less aggressive, because historically China was always attacked and looted by the Mongols and as well as by Tibet a long time ago. And then they would just introduce the Buddhism, the religion into Tibet and into the Mongols to to make them less aggressive. But of course, this is like hundreds of years, probably even 1,000 years ago.
I mean, could be possible. Chinese culture goes back to history 5,000 years, I guess, or so. Like, it's easy to say, but really difficult to understand when you have thousands year in the figure. So, yeah, that is really fun.
And also during the Tang Dynasty, I think the state religion was more or less Buddhism, but only because most people liked it back then. You were still free to be like of a different religion if you wanted. So, yeah.
Anybody knows if there is a famous temple with almost 6,000-7,000 steps to walk on to reach the temple? I don't know. I think it's in Tangshan city or somewhere. I've never been there. I heard my friends went there, but if anybody's been there, one of you have to you have to use at least 6,000-7,000 steps, and it's a really long, tiring walk.
But you need a couple of days, right?
for me, sure. Yeah. For me, sure. Yeah.
You mentioned the Xi'an area. There's the Huashan mountain. We've climbed that. I'm sure there's 10,000 steps on that one. It's many of the mountains have sort of religious looking sites and are covered with rock stairs. It's unusual. Surprise at first. It's not so easy to walk on the stairs. It's easier to walk on the ground, but it's developed.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, then I guess that's it for this session. And again, thank you everybody for joining in. I've learned a lot. I really enjoyed it. And I wish you a nice day or a nice evening, and perhaps see you in a future virtual trip through China. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
See you another time.